You know, there's a strange tenderness that arrives when the heart begins to wake. And by waking, I don't mean collecting spiritual phrases or arranging your life into neat little boxes. I mean the moment the veil thins, and for a breath you feel the world as one. When the boundary around me softens like wax near a candle, and everything you touch quietly answers, I am you. It is beautiful. It is terrifying. It is ordinary in the way water is ordinary, everywhere, and yet impossible to hold. But there is something almost no one tells you. Once the heart tastes this wideness, there are certain things you cannot share, not because they are secret in some hushed elite way, but because trying to explain them is like pouring the ocean into a thimble. The water is true, the thimble is too small, and more than that, speaking too soon turns medicine into noise. So let me tell you, as a friend, 5 things a spiritually awake person does not reveal carelessly. This is not pride, and it is not membership in a club. It is simply the etiquette of the soul. Some flowers only open at night. We do not drag them into noon. First, do not broadcast your moment of awakening. When the veil first lifted for me, when I felt the world breathing through my lungs and saw that there was no I outside that life, my first impulse was to run to the marketplace and shout, "Come see! It's all right here. We were never separate." I wanted to grab strangers by the sleeves and point at the moon until their necks ached from wonder. But you know what happens. They look at you with kind concern. They nod and change the subject. Not because they are cold, but because awakening is not an idea that can be passed like a loaf of bread. It is the taste of the loaf on a hungry tongue. Words about the river are not water. A friend once ran to his beloved after a night of weeping joy, sure that the one had embraced him. "I am not a man standing in a garden," he said, "but the garden itself walking." She smiled, kissed his cheek, and said, "Don't be late for work." He was not wrong. She was not wrong. They were in 2 different rooms of the same house, and no sentence can lift someone from one room to another. When you insist on describing your dawn to someone standing at midnight, you sound like a bragger. I have seen what you have not. In that moment, you contradict the very seeing you are trying to share. For what you saw is that there is no I above and you below. There is only the light wearing faces. The awakened learn to be quiet not from modesty, but from accuracy. Words are a finger. If someone is ready, the finger is useful. If they are not, they will study the finger, how you speak, how you dress, which practice you used, and miss the moon. Second, do not hand out your method as if it were a universal cure. We love to help. We love to package our path in steps and give it to others like a wrapped gift. Sit like this. Breathe like this. Repeat the name in this rhythm. Perhaps that is exactly what opened the window for you. But the soul has 1,000 doors. The one you used is not better. It is yours. Imagine a physician who prescribes the same medicine to everyone who walks in because it healed his own fever. Foolish kindness. One person is cold, another is dry, the third is already burning. The same dose that saved one heart will exhaust another. I knew a seeker who sat with the breath every morning until his bones hummed with silence. The practice ripened him. To his friend, restless, bruised by shame, he said, "Do exactly this." The friend sat and turned the breath into a hammer with which he beat himself for not being holy enough to feel peace. The practice became another cage. The teacher's way is different. Sometimes the guide gives you a mantra. Sometimes they take it away. Sometimes they send you to a quiet corner. Sometimes they insist you join the laughter at the wedding and forget yourself. The rule under all rules is this: whatever makes you more alive, more honest, more kind, that is the way today. And tomorrow, it may be another. Hand out methods freely, and people will make idols. Better to point them toward the spring and teach them how to listen for the sound of water underground. Third, do not turn your sight upon others and announce what you see. A curious thing happens after the heart opens. Your eyes grow clear. You can feel when a friend is defending an old story, when pride is crouched behind a gentle voice, when someone asks for help but really wants permission to stay asleep. Compassion wants to rush in and fix, but the moth must struggle out of the cocoon. That struggle strengthens the wings. There was a man who came to me furious that his colleagues could not recognize his brilliance. He wanted agreement, not truth. I could see that the heat around him was not persecution, but the smoke of his own arrogance. If I had said so, he would have built a wall of reasons, and the wall would have kept the light out longer. So I listened. The season changed. Months later, he returned, softer. "I have been hard to work with," he said. "The flower opened itself at dawn. No one pried the petals. If someone invites you into the most honest room of their house, tell me what you see. Then speak with the gentleness you reserve for washing a child's wound. Otherwise, let your clarity make you kind and your silence make you trustworthy." Fourth, do not throw emptiness at those who are not ready for it. So much of our fear is built on the belief that things are solid. This, me, this life, this story about where it's going. When the veil thins, you taste how everything is movement. Identity is a river, not a rock. The mind hears this and panics. Are you saying nothing matters? No, only that nothing is separate, nothing is fixed. Meaning is not a wall. It is a wind in which we learn to dance. Once, at a dinner, a man described his 5-year plan with the fervor of a general drawn maps. Without thinking, I said, "There is no you to achieve all that." There's only the dance. He heard annihilation. He heard contempt for his life. What I meant was belonging, that he was more than his plan, that the sky itself wanted to move through him. My truth arrived like a storm to a field that was just seeded. I left with regret. The medicine was fine. My timing was not. Great guides veil the deepest wine. They pour a little, then watch your hands. Too much too soon, and you drown. The emptiness that freed you can frighten another into deeper chains. So you wait, you speak in parables, you offer practices that strengthen trust. You let the river sound become familiar before inviting someone to step in. Fifth, do not announce your freedom from the rules. When unity becomes more than a sentence, morality changes texture. You do not need commandments to keep from burning your own fingers. Harming another is harming yourself. Kindness is simply accurate. You still stop at red lights and pay the baker because it keeps the village sweet. You honor the forms because they are vessels for love, not because you fear lightning. But if you walk around proclaiming, "I am beyond right and wrong," people rightly worry. They imagine you will smash the lanterns because you've discovered the sun. The wise do not scandalize the town. They bow to custom when custom serves peace. They decline it when it smothers mercy. They obey the spirit while smiling at the letter. Once you realize the play is a play, you don't boo the stagehands. You perform your part with even more care, not for applause, out of reverence for the one who wrote every role. Does this mean we keep silent about everything sacred? Number? We speak, but we speak like rain, not like a drumline. We suggest more than we insist. We invite rather than recruit. We tell a story and leave a space inside it where the listener can hear their own name. The deepest teaching is not a sentence anyway. It is presence. It is the way you enter a room without stealing air from anyone. It is your laugh that doesn't need a reason. It is your willingness to be wrong and your habit of forgiving quickly. People may not grasp your metaphysics, but they feel the weather in your company. A stillness that does not judge, a warmth that does not cling, a kind of home. So guard what is tender. Keep your dawn in a clay cup where it can stay warm. Do the good in secret. Let the right hand forget the left. Choose safe rooms for your sorrow. Hide your seeds from the wind until the roots take. Protect what others laid in your hands as if it were their heartbeat. If someone comes with true hunger, eyes soft, questions honest, then share what you can. But share it as one traveler telling another where the spring is, not as a king handing down a map. For here is the secret the heart keeps forgetting and remembering. There is no road to God. There is only God, pretending to be a road. There is nowhere to arrive. The beloved was inside your breath before your first cry. We are reeds from the same bed, sounding different notes, driven by the same wind. Let the song teach without boasting. Let the wound shine without display. Let your life say yes so clearly that words can rest. And when you feel the urge to declare what cannot be carried by speech, place a hand on your chest and listen. If the flame grows smaller when you speak, keep it. If it grows larger, whisper, just enough for one nearby heart to find the way.